Last year on the road to WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan came out on Monday Night Raw with a huge announcement. And during that announcement, basically, he said that, as the guest host of WrestleMania, he was going to start a new tradition. And that tradition was basically going to be living off the legacy of Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant, throughout his career, worked, all of the towns. And throughout a lot of the towns, they like to put him in battle royals. And during these battle royals, Andre the Giant would simply be able to be played off as just being too big for any man or men to eliminate. He was the king of the Battle Royal. So Hulk Hogan decided to come out with the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And last year, basically, all of the guys who didn't have a WrestleMania spot were be able to thrown into this Battle Royal. That way they'd be able to be used on the WrestleMania card and they would get a share of the WrestleMania profits when it came down to it. Vince McMahon has been known to make sure that all the boys and all the divas end up finding a way to get some sort of a payday bonus for working WrestleMania, no matter how big or how small. WrestleMania has become this huge circus event, as I talked about in the opening, that just basically there's tons of money to be flowing around. This is probably the biggest payday that most of these wrestlers will receive year-round. And I know that when it comes down to it, a lot of the wrestlers would probably like to be in any match besides the WrestleMania Battle Royal. This is just where, it's got to be. I can't remember which WrestleMania it was, but when they first started doing the pre-show Battle Royal to get all the fans into their seats, to get everybody ready, so when basically, they would come out to sing America the Beautiful and start off the show where they either had, the planes flying over, or, they get the big shot of, the announcer in the ring announcing WrestleMania is set to begin. Everybody would be in their seats and everybody ready for the show. When they're showing all the camera shots, you don't have any empty seats. And what better way to do that than, start having live matches? I mean, like when you go to Raw, when you go to SmackDown, they always have that, superstars sort of match that, you don't really care about the guys, but you're paying to go to those shows to see wrestling. So you get to your seat, even if it's, basically to watch. I can't think of any lower name guys. I could be looking at this list of named guys right in front of me, for those guys to wrestle. And, a few of those early battle royals were won by Mark Henry. It was sort of a SmackDown versus Raw, where the guys wore red shirts or blue shirts. It was for brand supremacy of the jobbers, I guess you can say. And it was a fun thing. Most of the time, you had to get the DVD and watch it on the bonus features in order to see it. But I've always been a fan of battle royals, Royal Rumbles, so I always went on my way to make sure I checked those out. But this year, especially with the ladder match taking up 7 guys as participants into that match, this match is looking pretty slim. Last year there was 31 contestants into this, and as of right now we only got 15 names added to this list. Highlights of these names are basically The Miz, a former champion all over, winning the the WWE Championship, Intercontinental Championship, United States title, tag team titles. Curtis Axel, an Intercontinental Champion. Ryback, he hasn't won any titles, but he was in the main event at one point. Zack Ryder, a past United States champion. Jack Swagger, a former United States champion, as well as a world heavyweight title holder. You got Big Show, who's won every title in WWE I can think of. You got Kane in there, a former world heavyweight and WWE champion. And you got Mizdow, who was a Money in the Bank winner, as well as I don't think he held the title. I can't remember if he won the Intercontinental belt or not. Sin Cara is on there. He's always a guy that, even though he loses a lot of matches, is always highlighted as being this, guy with a whole bunch of skills, even though he's not the original guy that was under the mask. When I look at this, not named at this match has to be the absence of Sheamus. I remember last year thinking about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. People had all these sort of dreams about what was going to be down. It was heavily rumored that Rob Van Dam would make his return to the WWE. He was very much in the plans and in the works. He ended up not working WrestleMania. He ended up coming in and making his return the next night at the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania, the circus, as you'd like to say. From there, You know, people also thought that Chris Jericho would return to the WWE for the big WrestleMania payday and give everybody that shocking moment, but instead all of the guys just piled into the ring, the bell rang, and everybody started wrestling. No secrets, no returns. This year we haven't seen Sheamus. We haven't seen him anywhere since Survivor Series. I still think that this is the best spot to put Sheamus and make him look big. If you think about last year, people have been looking at Cesaro for a good little while, thinking that his rise would come, and here we are a year later. It still hasn't happened. But if they were ever going to give Sheamus that big super push, I apologize. If they were ever going to give Cesaro that big push that everybody's been looking for, bigger than the United States Championship, but putting him into that main event picture, it would have been last year. You remember back, he was a participant in the Elimination Chamber, which was taken as a big surprise because at that point he was mostly being used as a tag team wrestler with the Real Americans teaming up with Jack Swagger. But him and Jack Swagger had an argument during the pre-show tag team match where they felt that they should have won it. And there was miscommunication in the match, and basically because of this, Cesaro went out and wrestled solo in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, winning it by body slamming the Big Show over the top rope to a shocking, a round of applause from everybody, because everybody had really been getting behind Cesaro. He really looked like a wrestler's wrestler, who every time he went to the ring, it seemed like he was always doing something that we had never seen him do before. A big student of the game and guy that has a lot to bring to the table that someday somebody backstage at WWE is going to realize that, it's his time. From there, he left Zeb Coulter. He started being managed by Paul Heyman to only mysteriously, right before Survivor Series, dump Paul Heyman to try and become a Triple H guy, which went nowhere. And you can hope that this is going to be the beginning of something. Sheamus is rumored to be coming back from WWE into WWE, and this time he's going to be coming back as a heel. They've tried this persona before. Sheamus, I believe, came into WWE as a heel, won the WWE Championship. From there, they sort of lost focus of him, and he won the King of the Ring. He started coming to the ring as King Sheamus with a green cape, and he had deer antlers. And it's a point that a lot of people would like to forget. I don't even remember when he stopped wearing the King Sheamus gear, but I think everybody breathed a sigh of relief. There's a lot of names in here. Honestly, I would really love to root for my man Jack Swagger and see him get the win here, but easily in my mind, you can definitely see more than likely Kane and Big Show, running a force in this match, much like they did in the Royal Rumble, but then maybe coming into some blows. We've seen basically Kane looking like he might be the guy to make the turn out of the Authority. Basically, Kane was one of the guys who, fell for Randy Orton's speech, but while Randy Orton was speaking on Monday, basically was just sort of rolling his eyes at what he was saying, and he could see through what he was doing. While Big Show bought it hook, line, and sinker, and just the big dumb oof, just sort of like, oh yeah, he was joking around, all right, yep, he's not going to kick our ass later in the show. We'll see what goes down. But that's going to be the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Sheamus is my pick to get it done. Who do you guys think is going to be there? Do you see any returning legends? Maybe Hillbilly Jim jumping into there, the cast of Legends House. I don't know. When I see Curtis Axel's name in there, I've seen him doing the Hulkamania gimmick. I don't know. He's not a babyface. He's still a heel that people are cheering for and they're getting behind him. Will WWE notice that the fans are starting to get with this guy? Maybe have Hulk Hogan give him some sort of a rub. Hogan's got to be doing something at WrestleMania. They can't repeat him as the WrestleMania guest host again. He already did that last year. And that was more of a homecoming for Hogan. He had the big ovation on Monday Night Raw. He came out to kick off WrestleMania 30, but, that was because he had been out of the company for, I don't know how long he was gone, at least 5 years, but, he had his TNA run, which lasted a good little while, and people were just happy to see him back in the A show, making him look like a big star. People have grown tired a little bit of him coming out, especially during the pink October month with him, pushing the pink Hulkamania and WWE shirts, coming out and being a goof, basically plugging the WWE network like crazy. But Hulk Hogan will always be Hulk Hogan to me. I cherish every live moment I get to see him. I know he will not ever come out for a match ever again, but I still Hulk up and I do the Hulkamania, pose because I never know when the last time is coming. And for him to come out there and maybe give the rub to Axel, somebody someday has to run into a big boot. Somebody has to run into a big fist. That's going to be a hell of a pop, and I'm only going to hope that I was there to see it.